What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Predictions in the building. What's it called? Yeah, I'm gonna be breaking down Uriah Hall versus Anderson Silva. This is a really good matchup. Uriah Hall comes in as the number 11 middleweight in the world. Um, Comes in 15-9. Fights out of New York, age 36. Height 6 foot straight, and a reach of 79. Anderson is 34-10. Fights out of Brazil, age 45. Height 6'2" and a reach of 77. This is a really good matchup. We were supposed to get this. I think UFC 198. I think that was Stipe and Verdum a while back. I think this is I think a really good matchup for Anderson, an opponent I think he would want, and a guy that kind of suits his style, in my opinion. Anderson is right now on a 2-fight losing streak. Let's look at it. Yeah, he's coming off losses to Jared Cannonier and Israel Adesanya. And to his fairness, in the Adesanya fight, he looked really, really good in there, and I thought he did his thing. Uh, Derek Brunson, I thought Brunson won that fight, so that one is like, And then before that, you had DC, and DC was just, DC's way bigger than, it's just one of those things. Michael Bisping was kind of controversial. Nick Diaz, he popped for steroids, so that's a no contest. And then you get the two Weidman losses, Bonner, Sonnen, Okami, Belfort, Damian Maya, Forrest Griffin. It goes on, it goes on. So, Anderson's, his record and his, you know, his name in the history books will always be, set in stone. Uriah Hall, on the other hand, is on a 2-fight win streak. He is coming off a wins over Antonio Carlos Jr. and Bevon Lewis. And honestly, we'll talk more about those fights more. But yeah, before that, he was coming off a loss to Costa. He had a win over Jocko, but he had some losses to Gegard Mousasi in the rematch. Derek Brunson knocked him out. Robert Whitaker beat him in a decision. He did have a really good win against Gegard, but it was a little fluky. And then we saw in the rematch how it ended up being. He also has a win over Thiago Santos. You know, these are the things that we see. He's lost to Kelvin Gastelum before on the Ultimate Fighter finale. It's crazy. It was a split decision, but he's had problems. He's really had problems with you. You could look at the Derek Brunson fight. I wouldn't call him a slow starter, but he was just he got caught by stuff. Even the Gegard Mousasi fight, he just got pounded on. In the Whitaker fight, Whitaker just out hustled him. He's had these problems where he just didn't have the grit and the grind, and especially in the Costa fight, man. He did so well in the Costa fight in the first round, y'all. He did so well, and it's kind of crazy that he didn't, and he ended up getting, breaking. He got broken with those body shots in the second round, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. But after that, they give him Bevon Lewis, right? And if you've watched that fight before, it's one of the most motivating things I've seen in a minute. Just from being a fan of the sport, you see a lot of guys, and when they lose the first 2 rounds and they get dominated, like the way Bevon Lewis was dominating Hall, it's kind of, you're at that point where, like, you know what? What's the point? Like, let me just give it up. And Uriah, he didn't give up 1 second in that fight. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that. Something got brought out of him in that 3rd round. That fire, that some Colby Covington said it best. That dragon energy. Something got brought on him, and he just fucking went for it. I don't know if it was the motivation from his sister having cancer or something like that, but man, I was just so happy for him, and just seeing all the the past issues of him, not fighting hard enough in situations where he should have, and he does it there. You always feel happy for a guy that deals with that kind of stuff. And then Antonio Carlos Jr., he put a goddamn beating on him. I know Carlos Jr. had his back for a little bit, but man, did he state his claim that he is, a legitimate top 10 guy, and he's not. He shouldn't be in the lower 15s, and now he's fighting Anderson. And Anderson's, he's 45 years old. I'm assuming this is the last one for him. I wouldn't say certain parts of his game has decreased to a really, really bad level, but there's always been holes in his game. But, right now we're in a situation where his legs are weak. They just seem weak. Um, I think if you play with Anderson's game, I think Anderson does really well. And if you don't, and you turn it into a dogfight, he doesn't do as well. Jared Cannonier, you go look at that fight. Jared did not respect Anderson at all. You know, Izzy, I think had a lot of respect for Anderson, and I think played his game. He played his game, and Anderson did really, really well, right? And I think Hall, he has to go at this, and I think he, I don't know. I was dubbing Hall 2.0 after the Antonio Carlos Jr. victory, but if he really wants to prove that, yeah, obviously he'd be beating a guy that's 45, but if he really wants to prove that Uriah Hall 2.0 is a real thing, I think he needs to go out there and just murk Anderson in the second round. I think he just has to go in there, don't give him no space, just like he did against Antonio Carlos Jr. I don't think he got to let his hands go in that fight because of the threat of the takedown. But if he just lets his hands go, if he just gives him no room, his some two jabs and a right leg kick, I think he'll really hurt Anderson, man. I just I get it. Hall is 36 years old, but you look at our light heavyweight champion. He's Juan Blachowicz is like 37. So obviously people say when you turn 35, you're out of your prime. But I feel like sometimes people have different primes, and primes is like what kind of prime you're talking about. Like I really do believe people have a fight IQ prime, or they reach their fight IQ prime, because you see guys make dumb mistakes and they grow up a little bit, and now they're not making those same dumb mistakes. So I think Uriah Hall's 36, maybe. I don't think he's necessary. I think it's now or never if he's ever gonna make that push for the title. But I think right now he's in a really good spot, and I think he's been there before. He's still athletic. He's still in great shape. He still has that power, and he has the experiences. He's lost. I think he's even lost. What's his face? Weidman. So I think he's dealt with his licks. I really do believe he's dealt with his licks, and I think he's gonna put a real beating on Anderson. I really do believe it. If I was gonna have to go with a pick, I'm gonna go Uriah Hall, third round TKO. I'm gonna take I was originally gonna go Uriah Hall by decision, but I'm gonna go Uriah Hall by third round TKO. I think Hall has just been different his last. You just gotta go look at those last two fights, man. There was even another great video that detailed Hall's kind of how he dealt with his struggle in the Bevon Lewis fight. I think it's Alpacas or something like that. They did a really great video on it, and yeah, I just honestly do think Uriah Hall's a different guy right now. I know I might be eating some crow, and Anderson might shock the world and get this W, and Anderson does need it, and I think he's motivated. After coming off that loss to Jared Cannonier in Brazil in front of his people, I think he really wants to win, but at the same time, Uriah Hall also wants to win, and he's never touched gold like Anderson. Anderson's touched gold, man. Like, no matter what, I understand there's been videos made about Anderson, this and that, and all that rah-rah, and how he's fallen from greatness. To me, man, when you have like 11 title defenses, in your division, you're still an all-time great. I think he's still the greatest middleweight of all time. I know against other people's beliefs. I know some people are trying to push the Israel Adesanya thing right now, but it doesn't matter. I don't even want to talk about that fool. I think Anderson's number one, and even if he loses this fight in brutal fashion, his career will always be set. He's still a Hall of Famer. He's still gonna, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think Uriah Hall is gonna take this. I really, really do, man. I really, really do. And it's just, you're looking at 45 years old, man. Like, come on now. That's insanity. Like, he's still good. I really do believe there's some guys he can't beat. But I just don't think Uriah Hall is the one. I think people might think Uriah Hall is the one, and I might have would have picked Anderson like maybe 2 years ago. Seeing the way Hall, was just, I don't want to say quitting, but like the way he was acting, and but right now Hall seems different, man. And just looking at the tape and looking at all this kind of stuff, I think I see the game plan. Hall just needs to murder him. That's really what it is. He just needs to murk him. So, and I guess ways of doing that, I guess just kind of really going forward and not giving Anderson his space. If I was to say a way Anderson can win, I guess timing Hall. Hall. He has been caught by Derek Brunson before. Like, I won't act like that never happened. And this was a Brunson that was fighting like a complete idiot, right? And Brunson still kind of fights like he's 3/4 retarded, but now it's 3/4. Before it was like full. It was out of control what he was doing back in the day. But he was able to catch Uriah with a shot, and he was able to finish him. So I think Uriah is like he's one of those guys that I think Anderson could catch him. There could be moments like that where times kind of last for Uriah. I don't want to say he's a slow starter because he's not a slow starter. He's more of a, I don't know how to. He's really calm in certain, or I shouldn't say he's calm. I think Dana White said it best when he was talking to him. I think after he lost to Calvin Gastelum on Tough, he's not mean enough. In certain like he's kind of somewhat passive, and and when you're a little bit of passive, you can get caught or you could, so it's like that's how Brunson rushed him. But I don't know if Anderson's gonna do that, So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go follow my Twitter, go follow my Instagram, and yeah, Uriah Hall throw around TKO. See y'all and goodbye and love y'all.